Hey now, everybody, welcome back. Segment number 2, one in the books. You want to talk about tough? You had something on your mind?
Yeah, a little something I'm going to start doing. I'm a huge Ultimate Fighter, Mark. I've been watching every episode since Series 1. I hear all these people talking about the ratings and the ratings suck and whatever. None of that stuff bothers me because I don't get paid a damn dollar if those ratings are high or low anyway. I love the show. I know several people, a couple of which are even related to this show, that have started watching MMA and UFC strictly based on the Ultimate Fighter.
That's a good point.
And as I agree that has changed over the years, I mean, what are we on, season 14, 15, 19,
I done lost count.
27? I mean, it's hard to carry that same punch. Anyway, the Ultimate Fighter, episode 4, we got Team Carwin and God, I forgot the other guy's name already.
The guy with the scraggly beard. And the belly.
Nelson, that's right.
Yeah.
Everyone's here to see me. Team Nelson, dude, I got to admit to you, this is the first time ever. That was a joke. For those people out there, I really do know his name, but that was kind of my way of making people laugh. But anyway, Team Nelson, one thing I've never seen, way to use your phenomenal coaching, way to use just tremendous skill and well thought out plan of having your team pick straws. Short straw gets to pick who he fights next. I'll let you guys know how that worked out at the end of my recap.
Very scientific.
Team Nelson picks straws, man. I couldn't believe that strategy. Julian, if you guys don't know who Julian is, he's a guy with a pink mohawk, kind of a tool, pulled the short straw. Dana took the crew. He took them to watch the series or the movie premiere of Here Comes the Boom. And the funniest thing about that entire segment, Here Comes the Boom, they show the guys watching it. And you know what Here Comes the Boom is, that new movie, Kevin James movie. It's about teacher MMA. But he knocks out Mayhem Miller. I know, spoiler alert if you guys haven't seen the movie. He knocks out Mayhem Miller, and I'm thinking, is that really that unrealistic?
I thought I saw that last month.
Kevin James is a big dude. Yeah. But anyway, so that's a spoiler alert. Julian, time to pick his fighter. Not only did he get to pick straw, he got to pick the next fight. He got to pick his opponent, too. So what he goes ahead and does is he picks the number 2 pick for Team Carwin in Bristol. Bad matchup.
Bad
matchup. And then, another thing that really irritates me, and I know I'm running along, but the Ultimate Fighter, all these guys, they want to fight for their daughters, and they want to fight for their sons, and I got family back home. Cry me a river, homeboy.
You got a family? Dude. I got a family.
We both have families. Everybody I know has got families.
They got to eat?
I got news for you, Julian. The fact that you have a 10-month-old daughter and another one on the way does not make your striking defense any damn better. Does not get the fact that you can't get your back off the cage any better. Anyway,
if you got another one on the way, maybe you should stop and slow down.
Or maybe
think about your future for a second.
He's got nothing. This is it. He's got nothing. This is it. He needs a lot of. You know what? One thing this show is showing me is both these guys, just a lot of these guys on that cast, they need a lot of work in order to compete with the top 170 guys in this division.
When you think about what a top 10 opponent looks like, the difference,
Yeah, and Team Nelson, the editing crew's done a phenomenal job of making Team Nelson look like a douche. He is a douche, but making him look like a bad coach.
Do you think they had to work that hard?
No.
Really?
But they spend the entire day training, teaching him how to get off his back. Hey, you don't want to put your back up against the cage. The fight starts, second it starts, Bristol gets him up against the cage. Bristol wins both rounds easy. Basically, Julian, he just throws haymakers. That's all he does, and he talks about how this loss sucks. He throws a fit afterwards. Talks about how he's never going to lose again. He said it yesterday. Julian, Pink Mohawk, will never lose again. And I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb, and I'm going to say not only is he going to lose again, he's going to lose again several times.
Is it going to be the next fight? Will he get a win?
No, so Bristol advances to the next round. One thing I thought was funny is Dana is sitting next to a little tiny kid. He drops an F-bomb. Thought that was funny. Good show. But it looks like at the end of the day, Julian did draw the short straw.
Definitely. Now, let me ask you this. Watching the show, it's not a new concept. It's, I mean, like I said, you're season 15, 16. I mean, that show has a way with the editing of sometimes taking somebody that's a fan favorite, and all of a sudden they're not a fan favorite
anymore. And they're doing that this year.
Is it changing anything for you so far?
They're doing that this year. I guess it is a little bit of build storylines, which, I mean, if they're looking for ratings, that can't hurt. But I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but there's this dude from Canada who, he looks like they keep on calling him like a school nerd. They show him drinking wine and he's walking around in his Calvin Klein undies. But, they're pitting him as one of the early favorites. And I got to admit, he did look the most impressive in the opening fights. But Are
you less of a fan of Roy Nelson? Are you pulling for Carwin a little bit more? Are
you know what?
Irritated?
I'm not a fan of either one of these guys.
Really?
No, never really have been. I think they're both kind of tool bags. But
Carwin too?
I don't know.
I'd like to see him fight.
This is the problem with the Ultimate Fighter is who out there, honestly, I mean, the coaches, to me, is 90% of the show. I mean,
Sure.
what happened to the days where Dana used to go to the center of the octagon, make an announcement, and then all of a sudden the coaches come down?
Yeah.
What happened to those days of those announcements?
Long
I mean,
gone.
I know this sport has evolved,
Sure.
tenfold. I understand that, but let's bring some excitement back. The hardcore fans watch The Ultimate Fighter, the majority of them. What you need is you need a reason for those middle tier fans to tune in.
Sure.
And they're not going to tune in to see Roy Nelson. I'm sorry, Roy, they're not.
It's not aesthetically pleasing to watch either.
No,
I mean,
it's so funny because they show his picture hanging up in the rafters.
Like,
It's
come
just
on.
a mess, dude.
How long do you think?
And he's
after
so
the
talented too. He's got
It's
so
crazy.
his MMA skills are
It's
off
amazing.
the charts. But
it's amazing.
man,
But hey, how long do you think before the show's over before they yank Roy Nelson's mug off the top of that wall? Like a day, hours, the same day?
yeah, that's a wrap. I mean, I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this: we were talking about Forrest Griffin. He made a kind of I don't know if it's startling admission is the right word to use. It's not startling, but it's kind of surprising in that he failed a post-fight drug test against Anderson Silva for Xanax, among other things. And that fight I think took place. I think it was Philadelphia, somewhere on the East Coast. It was Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know it's Pennsylvania State, and they have a lot. They don't have a lot of big fight experience, kind of like Europe and boxing.
What is that? I mean, it doesn't really. I don't.
Is it surprising though? Like, how come you don't see that all over the headlines?
Well,
Forrest Griffin fails. Like,
No.
is there favorites? I mean,
Of course there is. Of course there is.
do you think it had anything to do with it?
Of course it did.
Yeah, I mean, it had to, right?
I mean, I don't know what Xanax is. Xanax. I mean, we got a couple listeners, I'm sure, that could tell us. But I'm not exactly. And yes, I'm talking about you. You know who I'm talking about. But Xanax, isn't that like some sort of depression or?
Hey, you're asking the wrong guy, man. I try not to eat pellets everywhere I
But
go.
why is this swept under the rug? And
I don't know.
Nick Diaz gets busted for marijuana and he's out a year.
Right.
Well,
Go
where
figure.
do we draw the line?
I don't know.
Where do we draw the line from straight horse steroids to Xanax to illegal Tylenols? TRT. There's either you're taking illegal stuff or you're not.
Yeah.
So if you're going to suspend one guy a year, suspend the next guy a year. I mean, we've got to have some sort of gray area because this guy's Forrest Griffin and he's a household name.
Right.
He's a organization favorite. We just kind of sweep that under the rug. That's the way I look at it.
Like I said, I don't even know what UFC number that was, but that fight against Anderson Silva was a long time ago.
Yeah,
and
he got
we're just
embarrassed.
now hearing about it. Like, think about that.
Maybe he was just worried. Maybe it's like a depression pill or an anxiety pill or something like that.
I don't even know, man.
Who knows?
It's funny. I read Cub Swanson. He says he'd beat Jose Aldo 10 times out of 10 times if they faced again. Now it's a little different. He cleared that up and said, no, I meant Jens Pulver. And I'm thinking to myself, that makes a lot more sense, but beating Pulver 10 times out of 10, I mean...
Yeah, way to pick up a guy off his rocking chair and
is that really that impressive, Swanson? I mean, come on. If you don't beat him 10 out of 10, something's wrong. I mean... Cub Swanson looked great his last fight out. I mean,
Cub Swanson's on one hell of a roll, I'll tell you what.
Why are you even looking in Jens Pulver? I mean,
because Jens Pulver beat him in 10 seconds, that's why.
Yeah. It's a good point.
I mean, why
but you're never
going to
see that fight.
That? No.
I mean,
nor should you, man.
You're never going to see...
Those two guys are in such different points of their career right now. Why would you even bring that up?
Yeah, no, I mean, it just...
I'm sure somebody baited him into it. Had to. And as far as him beating Jose Aldo 10 times out of 10...
Come on, man.
We might find out. He's. I'll tell you what. He's real close to becoming a contender.
He's right up there, man.
Fantastic. He is a contender.
Well, he is a contender.
The number one contender. I mean.
But yeah, he's climbing up the ladder pretty well. His last two fights, he looks like he's really starting to put it together. Finally,
yeah.
No injuries, no bumps, nothing like that.
For sure.
Just got to throw this out there because every time I hear an old Pride figurehead in headlines, I always like to throw it your way. Talking about, is Sakuraba retired? Or should he be retired? A lot of mainstream fans probably don't even know who Sakuraba is.
I was just going to ask you who's Sakuraba.
That guy, I think, if you ever watch like old Pride highlights and stuff, I mean, you can find all that stuff on YouTube. But you see, he's got like bandages over his legs. Every time you see a new Sakuraba fight, he's wearing more hardware on the legs, the back,
I know.
the wrists. I'm like,
stop
it already, man. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know what Pride is, it's some old shady organization they used to have in Japan.
And old fans, it's not coming back.
No,
it doesn't matter what
we say that every week.
It's not coming back. Stop it. I want to know, Clay Guida. They're talking about him moving to featherweight. He's not getting out muscled. He ran his entire last fight. Like I don't think that's. You look at his last performance. It's not indicative of the kind of Clay Guida most people know. But certainly we shouldn't be talking about a drop to featherweight, should
man.
we?
Why is this happening? This is running rampant in MMA today.
Let's drop.
I mean, talk about a poor game plan, maybe. I mean, which is...
It was a problem in game plan. It wasn't a problem
I don't
with
think
anything
it
else.
had anything to do with the weight. I mean, we're talking about a guy that if he wins that fight, we're possibly talking a title shot. I mean,
yeah, he was right there.
And now all of a sudden we're dropping weight because we can't handle it.
A featherweight, yeah. It's not like he was getting muscled around. It's not like...
No,
just don't get it, man.
No, I can't believe. If he moves down, I don't see the benefit of that. I mean, I think he's just gonna get lit up down there.
Yeah, and you're gonna give up something for sure, man. 2 segments in the books already, man. Can't believe it. We're still talking about Chavez Jr., Martinez. We got Twitter segment, my favorite. You're listening to ESPN Radio. We'll be right back.